Greetings fanboys and fangirls, Jared here with another Masters of the Universe video, and today we're going to be talking about some really interesting news that a whole lot of fans have been talking about online, especially since a few new listings have gone up. But before we begin, be sure to drop a like on the video. It helps YouTube to suggest it to many others, as well as subscribe to the channel. You don't want to miss out on all of the other Masters of the Universe content that we have coming up. And with that out of the way, let's continue. Last year, fans, myself included, felt extremely anxious about the reveal of the Netflix series, He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. This would be an all-CGI series, and it was promising to radically reinvent a whole lot of the concepts that we knew and loved from Masters of the Universe. Of course, Mattel would be supporting it with a toy line, but the truth is none of us really knew what to expect. Fast forward to the end of 2021, and it appears that the CGI show was fairly well received by both fans and kids and newcomers alike, and I think that it really speaks volumes about the overall quality of the show. Of course, we know the show isn't very similar to previous versions of Masters that we know, but it still had a really great quality of animation. Even though they changed a few things, many of the core tenets about Masters of the Universe certainly remained intact. I found myself having a great time watching the show. It seems like every episode did something interesting. The whole idea about the power being shared between the team and not just He-Man, I think that had a lot of credence. And I also like the introduction of the idea of chaos also being in the show, which was kind of like a counterpoint to the power of Grayskull. Also, plenty of deep kind of continuity references in there. A lot of the characters' real names, like Beastman and things, lined up with previous versions of continuity. All of the action scenes were really fun, and I particularly loved the transformations and the music. The theme song also was a real banger. So all of this came together, and I think it helped that I was able to say, okay, this has no bearing on previous versions of Masters of the Universe, but I'm still enjoying it for what it is. And this leads us to our current business that we're talking about today. We knew, of course, that Mattel would be supporting the line with a toy line. We noticed that there were a few omissions in the line. Particularly, we didn't see Ram Mam. And she's, of course, the new female version of Ram Man. Now, we can see that she was spotted right here in a picture from quite a while back. So we knew that she was coming, but there were a few other characters missing, and since then, a lot of those characters have come out, and you're going to be seeing a video about a lot of those really soon, including the Sorceress and Orko and Evil Lyn, all of those that we kind of saw as missing members of the core team. Big Bad Toy Store for the beginning of the new year, kind of like what they did last year, and same with Entertainment Earth and a lot of the other online stores, had kind of a glut of Masters of the Universe listings. Prince Adam got listed, so that was really cool. Battle Cat was officially solicited, and it looks really cool. I'm not sure how articulated he is, but I think it just looks like a neat toy. Some of the other listings are for things like Beastman, who we have, of course, seen in the show. Of course, he doesn't come around till later, though, so I guess that explains why he wasn't ready for the beginning. And we also have a new Deluxe He-Man. I do kind of wonder if this He-Man might be, an actual armor design that he wears in the show later on. I do believe Season 2 might be the one where we start to see some different looks for He-Man. I really liked it in the Mike Young Productions show from the early 2000s, when He-Man would actually get those alternative armors like the snake armor and the cold weather gear that he wore. And of course he was, in Season 3, supposed to wear Horde armor, like anti-Horde armor, Horde Buster. I'm not really sure what it's called. I think I've seen some designs that the Four Horsemen did for that. Would have loved to have seen it in the show. But alongside these listings are these. If you look, you can see that it has the Netflix He-Man and the Masters of the Universe logo right there. Last time these were all listed, we learned that the core moniker is for your basic animated figures, the ones like we've been getting that are in pretty much the 5-inch scale. And let's see what these listings reveal. First up, we have Triclops here, and he's just listed as a standard figure. You might be thinking, well, yeah, they'll probably do a figure of Triclops. But for those that have watched the show, you know that Triclops hasn't been in the series so far. There is no representation of Triclops in the CGI Netflix series. This leads me to wonder, is this entire list of figures that we're about to read, are these for Season 2? And the thing is, toy development happens very early, and so does animation development. There's a couple of years in advance a lot of the times when these things are designed and all of that. Now, the funny part is we've not gotten word about season 2 yet on Netflix, but since it's kind of a kid's show, and a lot of the times there's not as much build-up for those types of shows, and Netflix is like, hey, here in a week or two, we're going to put up a new season of such and such. It's like almost like a phantom drop kind of thing. Similarly listed was Stratos. And Stratos, of course, doesn't really appear in season 1. I think it's interesting that we're getting some confirmation. I would take it as confirmation that Stratos will definitely be a big part of season 2. And I do believe that this is just another sign that these figures are tying in strongly to season 2, and these won't just be toy-only characters. So far in this line, there haven't been such a thing as toy-only characters. Sure, there's been toy-only variants and repaints, because that's how it always goes with these types of things. But toy-only characters, it's not happened. Instead, only characters that make it into the show actually get figures. So interestingly, they also list Mosquitor as one of the characters, but if you look closely, that doesn't say Mosquitor. That says Mosquitara. And as you can see, he's undergone a few changes. I think that this is probably the very best evidence of all. This is indeed supposed to be based on a season 2 of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, the CGI series on Netflix, because this kind of gender swap sort of thing doesn't speak to something that Mattel would just do if they were just releasing toy-only characters. No, this is the kind of thing where they're trying to appeal to a wider audience. They're trying to kind of get that gender ratio right to where the show will be more appealing to all sorts of different kids. And it's not something I really mind at all when it comes to this show, because this isn't standard Masters of the Universe continuity. They're playing around with some things and trying to be different. So I'm all for some changes. Of course, this is just a joke, what I mocked up here. This is not how the figure actually looked. I was just having some fun. I think the idea of a female Mosquitor, preferably with these like giant lips at the end of the snout, would be hilarious. I just think that would really be cool for like a mosquito-like character, almost have it be more of a succubus kind of thing. So I think this could be a lot of fun. It's a little surprising, but hey, this might be a lot of fun. So I'm willing to see where it goes. And here we have Man-E-Faces. This is the only one of these kind of mysterious new listings that have actually had some pictures surface. And these are thanks to Planet Eternia on Twitter, which I love following those guys. It is a foreign language account, but I do enjoy it, and they often have a lot of great scoops on there. So if you're on Twitter, go ahead and give them a follow. And I think these look awesome. I know that people will look at these at first, and I know that some of the proportions might be a little jarring upon first glance, but this is right in line with He-Man's proportions in the show. It's right in line with that design philosophy, and this is very strong evidence that this is a completely show-based designed character. The great thing about these listings is they're not just like leaked computer listings or something like that. No, you can pre-order these at all of the major toy sites. So it's not like Mattel is just releasing them because they were so far along, or they're going to cancel them at the last second or anything like that. It doesn't look that way. These instead look like actual orders. I have them pre-ordered. It's out there. So I'm really, really happy to see this as, I think, some of the best confirmations so far for He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, the CGI series, to continue with all of these different factors combined, the pre-orders, the early look at Man-E-Faces, all of the different elements coming into place, and these with a release of, it's looking, at least according to the pre-order links, like maybe somewhere around February. I think these are the kind of thing that we could start seeing anytime now, around February or March, and maybe even earlier. You know how this goes. Every now and then, somebody at a Walmart on the West Coast or something like that will come across this stuff much, much earlier than anticipated. I think it's all possible, and that we should definitely brace for more reveals coming, which begs the question, when will the Netflix show resume? When will season 2 actually debut? And I kind of wonder if it isn't coming out in February. I really do. I think that Netflix usually doesn't have a whole lot of promotional build-up for these younger kids shows. So I think right now we are in that area where there could be an announcement at any time from Netflix. It wouldn't surprise me if season 2 is already in the can. If there is no season 2, if somehow season 1 did horribly, and the thing is, we don't really have a good gauge on how season 1 did. Netflix does not disclose the actual viewership numbers. I think if nothing else, the buzz was very positive around it. Maybe they were already deep enough into a season 2 to where they'll go ahead and do it. However, let's pretend for a moment that season 1 did abysmally. Netflix has no interest in moving forward with a season 2. Maybe these are remnants of that. Too far along in production to actually cancel. The figures might have been made first and based on early animation designs, and they're just going to go ahead and release them. But I just don't think that's it. If it was the case that there wasn't going to be a season 2 of the show, I think the entire line would have been canned a long time ago. They would have already cleared them out from Walmart's planogram. Instead, it seems that all the toys have a really significant retail presence still, especially at Walmart. So I'm going to say the future is bright for He-Man and the Masters of the Universe CGI show on Netflix. Masters of the Universe Revelation is another story, another video, and we'll see when we get there. All right, friends, if you enjoyed the video today, then of course leave me a comment. Then of course leave a like if you don't care, and be sure to subscribe to the channel. We're trying to build our way up to 3,000 subscribers. We are very, very close, and I'd love to see us hit that before too long. Of course, you don't want to miss all the other Masters of the Universe content that we have coming on the channel. We have a lot of different videos coming up. I keep waiting for Big Bad Toy Store to ship the latest wave of Masters of the Universe Origins to me. I am starting to give up, so I may just go ahead and do my ranking video without that latest wave with Buzz Off and the Sorceress and all of that. Not really sure, just gonna have to wait and see what happens, if my patience wears thin or not. Also looking to do a few other videos on the channel. Gonna of course be looking at the basic Netflix He-Man figures very soon, and then maybe some of the oversized ones as well. Of course, we'll be looking at some Masters of the Universe Revelation figures very soon as well from the Masterverse line. So there's just all sorts of great stuff to keep your eye out for. All right, friends, as always, God bless you and yours, and I'll see you on Fanboys Forever. Fanboy out.